I negotiated £25,000 off a property listed for £160,000. That's over 15% saved without any back and forth haggling. In this video, I'm going to show you the exact method that I use to work out the maximum price that I can pay for a property, and then I'll walk you through my simple and effective negotiation tactic. So let's dive in and I'll show you how I value a potential investment property, and I enter all that data into my smart spreadsheet and hopefully secure a profitable deal. So today we're going to take my property that I've just purchased in Newark and work out how I calculated the maximum price that I should have been paying for it, and then discuss how I took that price to the agent and got the vendors to accept it. What I've developed here is a smart spreadsheet to input all my data into, and it's available on my website. The link's down below, it's completely free. But what we need to do is fill in this spreadsheet and it should tell me the number that I need to purchase the property for. But first things first, I load up this spreadsheet and I make a copy for the property that I'm looking at. So in this case, I'm looking at Cooper's Yard. So first we need the property address, which is Cooper's Yard, Newark. This is in the area of Newark and Sherwood. So once I updated the area to Newark and Sherwood, I could see that the price changes had updated down here. So in the past year, there's been on average a 4% increase across all property prices. And in the past 5 years, there's been a nearly 28% increase. So there are better regions in the UK for growth, but Newark is still on the way up and it's located quite close to me, which I find super useful because I do a lot of the renovation work myself, so I'm back and forth quite a lot. So next I put in the URL, the listing price, which was 160,000. And next is the initial estimated buy price of what I think I could negotiate it down to. If you've already spoken to the agent on the phone, if you already viewed the property, you might have an idea in mind. If it's been listed for a while, you should be looking at least 10% really. So I'll put 10% for now, which is 144,000. And for the renovation work that I'm going to be doing, I think it's going to take me 5 months to renovate it. It should ideally sell for £185,000. I think 190, 195 is possible, but it's better to remain conservative for your numbers. And next is the estimated tax that you'll be paying. And I tend to purchase my properties through my limited company, so that is 19%, for example. And the next is the sought after gross profit percentage based on the property value. And I would guess a range between 10 and 20% is what you should be looking for. 20% plus is obviously fantastic, but pretty unachievable for the average property investment that you'll be looking at. And don't shy away from 10% profit. Because if you're new to property investing, remember you're getting invaluable experience as you go. I tend to look for 15% plus realistically, especially with conservative numbers that I'm putting in here. And then finally on this page is the refurbishment cost buffer. There are always hidden things that you won't have accounted for. For example, the amount of times I ripped out a bathroom and there's been something wrong with the tanking on the walls or the plasterboard, or even tiles on tiles that have ruined the plasterboard underneath. It's not common, but it wasn't great. I tend to find that it hovers around 5%, but I like to put in 10% just to cover me for the unknown. But then that brings you onto the purchase and financing costs tab. So here are the actual costs associated with purchasing the property, financing it and holding it, and then ultimately selling it again if that's what you're looking to do. And I add in my solicitor's costs, £1,300, I think I get a great deal. £1,500 tends to be the norm. And survey fee, valuation fee and title search are all included in that. And my stamp duty land tax on this property is £4,320. It's already calculated for me. It assumes that you're purchasing an additional property on this spreadsheet. But if you're not, you can override the value. For example, if you're a first-time buyer or moving into a next home, this should be quite heavily discounted in comparison. And then we get on to council tax. I think this is £160 a month. Your utilities about £40. Insurance about £30 a month, and no maintenance because I'm renovating the property. When it comes to the selling fees, even if you're not planning to sell, if you're planning to rent it out, I would still advise you to fill in the selling costs, because it's good to know just in case your situation changes over the course of the renovation, which is not actually unlikely. Markets may move, rules may change, and your personal position may change too. So it's good to work out these numbers up front just so you know where you stand. So my estate agent selling fees are 2%. For properties in this price range, 2% is about right. Conveyancing fees again will be £1,300. Energy performance certificate, about £100. And for the actual purchase of the property, luckily I was in a position for this property to purchase it in cash outright. And I only do this when the vendors are in a position where a fast cash purchase is very appealing to them, and they'd be willing to negotiate more of a discount just for that cash. However, if I can, I try to use mortgages because you're able to leverage yourself further. So for this, I'll say cash purchase. But if I was looking to do a mortgage, I would add in the years, the fact it's interest only, which is normally what I do, and the interest rate, for example, 4%. This would tell me that my monthly payment for this property would be £360. However, I did purchase it cash, so I have no monthly payment, but I have tied up a lot of money for the initial purchase of the property until I can either sell it or refinance it later. But that wraps up the purchase and finance tab, and we move on to the refurbishment costs to give me an idea of how much it would cost me to get it to a place where I'm able to sell it for a profit. And to save some time, I'm just going to paste in some previous calculations that I've done. And then finally, I can move on to the rental tab. And the same goes for the selling of the property. Even if you're not planning to rent it out and you just want to flip it, I would still advise filling in this tab so you know what position you're in for later. And so even though I was looking to flip the property only, I still asked the estate agent what they estimate it would rent for. And they said £950. However, take whatever an estate agent says like this rent with a pinch of salt. I'm going to say £900. And the management fee for that estate agent was 10%. 10% is okay, and I'm willing to pay this money to manage the tenants for me because I still have a full-time job. I'm going to say the ROI that I'm looking for is 10% and the gross annual yield that I want is 5%. Both of these are fairly standard numbers. Again, I'm not looking to rent here, but I'll explain them in a video dedicated to rental purchases. Okay, so that's pretty much all the fields that you need to fill out. And so on the summary tab, it'll obviously summarize, and it will tell me now that if I wanted to purchase this property and make the 15% gross profit that I'm looking for, the maximum I should be paying is £134,831. But if I can't achieve that, and I can only purchase it for my estimated purchase price of £144,000, then I would end up having to sell it for £195,000 plus to achieve that 15% gross profit that I'm looking for. So overall, I've managed to put in all the costs that I think I'll have to pay to purchase and renovate and sell this property. And to achieve the gross profit that I tend to look for, which is 15%, the maximum I should be buying it for is £134,831. So this is what makes the negotiation side of things easy for me and haggle-free. This is the only number I can use to make this investment worthwhile. And if the vendor doesn't accept it as a price, I'll just move on, because then the property is not returning the profit that's worth me spending my time for. So I take this completed spreadsheet, I'll take this number here, I'll approach the vendor via the estate agent and say, I really like the property, however, I worked out the costs involved, and for me to make it worth my while, the maximum price I can pay for it, in this case, is £135,000. Now, I didn't say £134,831, it's way too exact. I tend to round it to the nearest £1,000, but if the offer is declined, there is still room for movement here. And actually, this property is a great example of some movement which I applied. So when I viewed the property, I noticed there was a leak in the upstairs bathroom, which had gone through to the ceiling here. And I was worried about the joists might need replacing. And when I added in that cost of the potential work there, it brought the maximum price I could pay down to £131,000-ish. I first pitched that number to the vendors, who declined it and said that's too low. So I said to them, I do like the property, however, the main cost that's worrying me is these potential joists. If you let me get a structural engineer in, who I use as my surveyor, I'll pay the costs obviously, let them come in, just check out those joists. And if they turn out to be okay, I'm willing to up my offer to £135,000. Would that be acceptable? And at this point they said yes, that'll be fine, £135,000 will accept. And my surveyor went in, checked the joists are okay, they gave me the thumbs up, and perfect, I bought it for £135,000. So there was no actual haggling here. Every single cost that I pitched to the vendor was based on a calculation that I made through my spreadsheet. And that gives me confidence knowing that throughout the negotiation process, I'm only paying the amount which should hopefully make me a profit, making it potentially a good investment. And if at that point the vendors still don't accept the price, then I walk away. Ultimately, it's my money I'm spending to try and make a good investment. I'm not going to live in the property, so I certainly would not invest in it if I don't think it will work to make me money. So if you haven't got any properties to invest in yet, like the one I'm looking at here, then watch my previous video, I'll link it below. And that'll walk you through the process from start to finish of finding a property to invest in. And you can take that property and use it in this spreadsheet to work out how much of a profit you can potentially make. So hopefully this video will help you navigate and negotiate a future property purchase. If you enjoyed it and found it useful, please subscribe. My next videos will cover the finance options, the potential renting, and starting the renovation work. See you next time.